Recording. All right, and we are live. How's it going, everybody? We got our guest here, Psychology Nerd, and of course my co-host, Black Angus Reviews. How's your morning going, Angus? You had a long day yesterday.
Yeah, I did a 4-hour stream on World Class Bullshitters for a vet stream, which was awesome. Couple lulls, but that was mainly us trying to learn each other, I think. And then second half, it really takes off. And then, of course, I joined you with Sith Kryptonian, and that was fun. Had some really good heartfelt discussion about SJWs and whatnot, and kept rounding it back to film.
Yeah, that's usually the poll here. I'll actually ask you about that stream in a little bit, but first, we got the Psychology Nerd here with us, and why don't you tell us a little bit about your channel?
Yeah, hey, what's up, guys? I hope you all are doing awesome. And basically, my channel revolves around examining politics in pop culture and also sort of making psychology-related comments to SJWs and what's happening right now.
Yeah, I've only watched a few of your videos. I really want to watch more of them. On top of that, your thumbnails are very grabbing. Like those are, I don't know why, but the way that they look, I'm like, well, it's not too busy and it's not too simple, but it's like just the amount that you kind of want to see if you're going to look at something. And yeah, it looks good. That was one of the reasons why I think how I found your channel, I think. Was through the thumbnails kind of, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. And then watched your like Phoenix reaction or something or expectations on it, and I was like, oh my god, this is gold.
Yeah, thank you. With thumbnails, it's really, you have to be simple, have colors that grab people's attention, so like reds and oranges and stuff like that, and just have something that has to do with the video. Like, don't just put random stuff. And I find that helps a lot.
Yeah, I think your reds and orange are what makes it pop, and then whatever's in it. Do you have any future goals for your channel? Like, where do you see yourself in like a year or so?
I think I want to talk more about psychology and maybe more about like mental health and stuff like that. Because I see like when I did my videos on like gender dysphoria, people really, really enjoyed those. And so I might do more videos like that. And yeah, just doing reviews, talking about SJWs. But I don't want to like just focus on them, because if you focus on that too much, like you go on Twitter and just like talk with people, but just argue with people, and it kind of wears people down. So I do want to continue talking about them, but not in the way that that's gonna wear me down. Like I don't want to have like this grim outlook on the world. So
yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah, we actually had this conversation last night. So the other day I was watching this channel, Jacqueline Glenn, and she's like more of an atheist-ish channel, I suppose, but sometimes she goes into other things, and a lot of people call her an SJW when she like isn't really, for the most part, for what the definition of that is. And she was saying that she did one called the Social Justice Warriors versus Social Justice Warriors, which is literally just kind of like what you described as far as like they're okay. So SJWs overreact to little things that aren't even really a problem, and then there's people now that overreact to things that other people take an issue with like really quickly. Like if somebody were to like I kind of think that the Miss Marvel thing got really out of proportion for what it was. I mean, I think it is. I do see hints of SJWism, of course, but some people took it way beyond that, and it's just like, dude, that was hardly anything. And when you jump on stuff so quickly like that and just go right to, oh, that's SJW crap, that's fucking stupid. I mean, I can see how that's like SJW warrior, like in a way you're kind of just doing the opposite, but with them and or something about them. So I mean, I do kind of see that, and nowadays it's been going on for how many months or years now with this kind of thing, and we do. I don't know. The conversation needs to change in a way. Like, still talk about it, but have it be a little more productive, I suppose, with it, or do new takes on it. Like, I still think with the Miss Marvel thing is very debatable. We can actually talk about that in a little bit too if we want, and with the smiling stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna address the chat real quick, and then we can get back into this real quick. So we got the Lone Wolf Cub in here and Sith Kryptonian. These are regulars to the show now. Officially, and I've had both of them on already, and having Sith Kryptonian on again on Tuesday. And then we got Hallmark Channel Jeremy, You said you watch Geeks and Gamers. Are you aware of the Jeremy Clone Army?
Nope.
No. Well, there's a couple of streams or videos where he was reading super chats and he was like kind of struggling. He's like, the duck may swim on the lake, that type of thing. And then he was like, I can read them. And he's like, proper Jeremy reads very clearly and speaks in a very clear voice. And then somebody made a proper Jeremy account. And then somebody made a cotton candy hair Jeremy account and a Hallmark Jeremy account, a mirrored Jeremy. There's like all these Jeremy accounts now. So, and they're pretty hilarious. They are hilarious in chats. So he's here and he was with us last night and he's like, ugh, I feel like I just left this place. he hung out that full 4 hours. And we got the 6 scale combat in here. I just like to call him combat because I get tongue twisted half the time when I read these names. And the Lone Wolf Cubs here. And yeah, he's like, just saying good morning. And yep, these are the people in here so far. So Angus, tell us a little bit about your vet stream, and then we'll probably talk about I don't know what we'll talk about first, but let's start with that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what inspired it. I guess just maybe the weekend and stuff. And Jeff Hicks thought this might be an interesting angle. He said he saw a lot of vets are in the chats and stuff. And so I just happened to be watching one day on Good Morning Pop Culture when he said that, and I'm like, hey, I'm a vet too, and he knows you, me, Iron Wolf. So he instantly caught that in the chat, and it joined in. It was a little awkward at first, just because for me, I have been following him since November of last year with the Last Jedi spoiler video, and for some reason I just kept watching their videos trying to like catch news, I guess, and I liked how they talked. And it's crazy to see him go from a small channel about Doomcock size to 75,000, and definitely being someone that Geeks and Gamers has benefited from association with. You see their subs before and after with Jeff Hicks. It was fun. We got to talk about like funny vet stuff, like basic training stories, what our favorite war movies are and why. Spoiler, mine is Black Hawk Down. I think it's just like the perfect war movie, and it's Ridley Scott. He knows what he's doing. Trying to think what else. It kind of lulled here and there, but then about the 2.5 hour mark, it really just like it was quick, and we were all like ready for shit with Star Wars and stuff. And I asked Jeff Hicks a bunch of good stuff, like how we a couple days ago talked about Star Wars, even when it was $1 billion money maker, or almost $1 billion back in like '05 with the Revenge of the Sith. It wasn't a popular thing. You didn't brag about being a Star Wars fan. Like you didn't tell all the strangers like, man, did you go see Star Wars? It's like you kept that to yourself because that's a nerd thing. It's the coolest nerd thing, but it's still a nerd thing. You don't talk about it unless you're with nerds.
That's a good point.
And it was so great to see him have him interact with that question that we have talked about on a little stream. And you got this guy that's clearly successful, done a comic skate comic, and he's talking to us. Half of us don't even have channels, and he's just as engaged as if it were Kendo and Nick and Dion. So yeah, it flowed really well. He's a good moderator for us and stuff, and he respects us just like his colleagues.
That's good. That's good. I was wondering with him with the vet stream if he'd be able to moderate it in a certain way, because he's not a veteran, and yeah, I don't know how that would work either. Really, just so how's battles and stuff? How's time? That's what I'd start with.
He kept it happy. Because of how it's associated with film and stuff, and the stuff we're like Doctor Who stars, Marvel, apparently. We did get on like sort of governmental political stuff more than you'd ever see on their channel on their own, besides the immediate like SJWs coming into film. But I think it was appropriate given that we were it's like a vet stream. We're talking about being part of service and stuff. But we always rounded it back. There was only really one guy that kind of there's a part towards probably the last hour where it's like, man, this guy he keeps kind of keeping the chat down, and he even admits like, yeah, sorry, I kind of bring talks down because I get too deep or whatever. It's like I understand that problem myself, but I was able to lift it back up when I read Kitty Glitter's
Yeah, this little
book
fake
Sway
novel
with the
thing.
Lambs. For him because I want him to really sell that. I want that to be like a Comicsgate success.
That would be kind of funny. All right, though. So I like what you said about the Star Wars thing. So how old were you guys when Revenge of the Sith was in theaters? I was in elementary school.
When did it came out again?
2005.
2005, yeah. I graduated high school in 2008, so yeah, it was probably middle school.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm the baby of all these streams. Every single person I've had on is older than me. It's pretty funny. So what are your thoughts on Star Wars? A psychology nerd.
Well, the first trilogy, like anyone, is the best. The new ones, like, I don't know why I have such a vague memory of them. The only thing I can remember is collecting those Pepsi bottles with like all the characters on them when I was a kid.
Oh, right.
They did that, but yeah. I mean, the original with Luke is just the best. Like the story, it's really beautiful because it speaks of not giving up on people, even though you think they're like past that point of no return and past forgiveness. But in the end, like he didn't give up on his father, and like even though he died in the end, he still like overcame that and he helped Luke. And I just like stories like that.
Yeah, I agree. I like how you put that too. And one of the main type of analogies I put is like if you were to strip that main Star Wars of all the effects and everything, you'd still have a good story, right? And then with the new ones, if you strip them of their effects, what's left?
Oh my god, it would be so dull. Like the only thing that would get my attention from the new movies is like the big explosions and the bright colors and stuff. Because anything else, it's how do I say it? Like underneath the effects, it's like lackluster. The characters are two-dimensional and they're just like paper thin. There's like nothing to them, nothing that you want to learn more about. They're like not interesting.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. What are your thoughts going in?
Rookie.
All right, yeah, I'm just doing a follow up, and then you can go, Angus. What are your thoughts on the upcoming episode 9?
Oh boy, I honestly don't know how they can salvage this. Unless they have a completely different team of writers, then maybe they can salvage it. But the characters, they need to go through more struggles. They need to get real training, and I don't know. But they already messed that up in the first two, so I have no idea how they can fix it.
Yeah, I'm going to do my analogy real quick and I'll let you go, Angus. I use this sandwich analogy of where like The Force Awakens was like the bottom piece of bread, where it's like, it's bread's not horrible. You could like bread. It's fine. It's nothing super appealing. There's no seasonings on it or anything that grabs you. And then you're supposed to put the meat on next, like the patty. But they left this patty sitting out for 5 days. There's a little bit of shit on it. Some flies have been hovering around and, maybe making some maggots. And then they're going to try to put the next piece of bread on, or they're going to try to put a steak on top of it, or you could have the best pizza. You can have the best whatever ingredients you can think of to put on top of that sandwich. But you could try to rinse it, soak it, put in some water. It's going to be a soggy, nasty sandwich, no matter what you do. After you put this spoiled sandwich on, this spoiled patty on there. And that's what the series is. I mean, after episode 8, I'm just like, well, I don't really care what happens now because they've done nothing to get me to care about any of the characters that remain. So why would I want to? It's like if people were to ask me to get involved in a show, like, hey, do you care about what happened on Friends or something? I just can't think of a normal show that's going on right now. I'd be like, I don't care about them. I don't know them. Why would I care? That's how I feel about these characters. And we made 2 movies with them.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I guess. What were you going to
say? Honestly, I would say, shoot. Okay, I was making sure I wasn't muted. Honestly, I would say that even with the effects, they're really dull. There's not a big color palette. Like you notice the difference between like the Sand Planet and like wherever Maz Kanat is at in episode 7, but then like episode 8's like really bland. Like there's like I have a video, and it was like me my first time trying to do like a diversity in comics kind of thing where I'm just like narrating me looking through a book for you. And it's DK. It's like right when Disney bought it before they actually started storyboarding and anything for episode 7. And you look at all the imagination creativity of Star Wars for 40 years, and it's like, wow. And then you look at like DK books from Disney era for their movies, and it's just like the art book sucks even for Rogue One, and that's their best Star Wars movie in my opinion. Like there's just no imagination, there's no thought behind, like they think, oh yeah, Rey means king in Spanish, which like language has a big deal in Star Wars for names and stuff where it's like you can kind of key in on like Vader is a twist on Vater from German, Vater. But yeah, like there's nothing there. It's a hollow shell. They own an IP and now they're raping it.
Hmm.
Fans to just pay for the label.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The way that we like to label it is, they literally just label shit. They label Star Wars on anything, and they think that people will buy it, which the diminishing returns proves otherwise. I would say. Are you aware of the new show they're trying to launch?
Was it with the Mandalorian they wanted to do?
That's one of the shows they want to launch, but they also want to have another show with Cassian Andor. Do you remember who that is?
Nope.
That's the answer I was expecting. He was in Rogue One, in Star Wars Rogue One, a Star Wars story or whatever. He was the main dude, I guess. That was alongside the main chick, and
and they both die.
Yeah, and they want to make a whole show about him.
Mm.
And he dies at the end of the movie he was in. And they want to make a whole prequel show about the prequel show, or about the prequel movie. It's like, really? That's where you want to put your money? But do you want to know why they're doing that? Because he's like, what is he, Mexican? Angus or something?
Yeah, I think he's like Colombian or Mexican or something. He's definitely a Latin-based.
Yeah, because there's no reason to have a whole show about that character, but oh yeah. Do you want to keep on talking about Star Wars? Or do you want to move into like comics?
As you guys wish.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot to say about Star Wars, but
no, there's an infinite well of stuff with that, I would say. But we can kind of jump around, I suppose. And if like I said, I might bring somebody else in here in a little bit, but I like to keep it with just us three for right now. While we're still getting to know you and whatnot. So what are your thoughts on the MCU right now?
The movies or just the comics?
Everything. Start with the movies for now.
They've been good so far. I mean, there's not one that I didn't really like. And I think they're doing a good job. They're not putting too much feminist stuff in their movie. But I think that's why people are so scared about Miss Marvel, because Brie Larson is such a feminist that people are really scared to see the end result of what happens.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, with that point, I definitely see why a lot of people, react to it with a lot of hesitation and assumption for the most part. I can't say if it's specifically SJW, but I think it is more politically charged. I would say, kind of like how Ethan Van Sciver points out in the comics with Marvel and them, how it's like, oh, they're trying to cater to one side rather than just tell a good story. That's what I'm kind of fearing with it for the most part, is that they're going to focus more on a message than on a story. And I don't care about that. I just want to see some cool stuff happen and get to know a cool character. But if they don't make the character cool, why would I care? Then they go, oh, you're a white male and she's a female and you don't like that movie, so you don't like her, and that means you're bad. And it's like, how do people get to that conclusion? If I don't, I mean, are people not allowed to have taste or preferences or anything, like a character over color?
Yeah, I feel like they purposely set that trap for you. Like with the Star Wars, they're doing it with that guy from like Rogue One that no one remembers. They're only doing it because he's of Mexican descent or Latino. And so when people are going to say, like, they're going to critique their show if it's bad, they're going to say, oh, it's because you're racist. And, that's easier to do than just to realize that your show was just complete crap,
To be fair, if they make the show somehow good, I'll give them credit.
Well, yeah.
but with the starting point of it, how good can it be when we know where it's going? I mean, I think we're getting kind of tired of knowing what's going to happen. But I mean, we don't want our expectations to just be subverted. We want something cool that we want to see something cool happen.
Yeah.
we want to latch onto a character and see where they're going and see why they're doing this and see them struggle a little. So we like to get a girl's opinion on this, really, because we there's more dudes around here, of course, for the most part in all these circles. So with the Miss Marvel thing, what about that do you think, or not? That's not how I'm trying to word it. So, how do you think they could introduce more women into the MCU without coming off as SJW or feminist with their stuff?
Well, it's like any type of character. You have to build a character that people are gonna love without trying to tell people that, oh, she's a woman, so you have to like her. Like, you know, they have to show us how awesome the character is, so we like her regardless of that. And I think they try to play up the gender or the ethnicity way too much, and it's way past being on the nose. Like, it's just they shove it down our throats, and if we don't like it, then we're sexist. You know, I was called a gender traitor for not liking.
Traitor.
I'm a gender. I need that on a shirt, seriously. But just for not liking the way the all the like stills we got of Miss Marvel were crazy. But I don't know.
Yeah, I like the way you put that, and that would be a cool T-shirt, by the way. You should definitely get going on that. That'd be great. Gender traitor. But yeah, I mean, it comes to the point where when they're trying to defend a thing, they're like, oh, we're trying to protect women and minorities, but then, you know, a woman or a minority says something, shut the fuck up. It's like, you know what you're doing, right? What the hell? I don't like, seriously, I really don't understand that. And when they say that, like, we don't get a lot of things, like, as a straight white dude, yeah, I really don't, because I was never so aware of this stuff until they made it like every topic point. Like, it was always, you know, oh, that character is this or that character is that. Like, Will Smith, you know, was one of my favorite TV show characters. I mean, I don't like him now because his personality is just kind of the same, and I've changed. You know, it's the same in every single movie. And I'm like, I mean, he's okay. And then, you know, there's just other people that I never went, oh, these are my favorite black actors. These are my favorite this race actors. These are, I mean, yes, I'd have my favorite actresses compared to actors, but, you know, that's a whole different genre of, you know, categories, but it's based on what they're in and how they are. It's not based on what's between their legs, really. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, sorry. Oh, I was just going to add to you what you're saying. I have my my conspiracy theories about Pando and Soilo, that they knew the soycott was happening, and they used the pansexualism as a crutch. I mean, like, well, that's why people didn't see it, was because they're I don't know the word, but like homophobic, essentially, to the idea of pansexuality. And it's like, no, like that's all through sci-fi, but it's the fact that it's never been in Star Wars. You know, we don't look at because all the other aliens that you might have sex with are other humanoids. We don't really look at having sex with Twi'leks or Zabraks as non-humans, as opposed to if it was like a Wampa or something.
Bestiality or something.
Yeah, and so there's like a level where it's like, all right, this is where you're crossing into like pansexuality of species or whatever. That's never been a part of Star Wars. So that was the big deal, is like, you know, and then you say Star Wars is like all these soy boys that they hate the prequels for inconsistencies, but then they love The Last Jedi. They hide behind this idea of, oh, you just hate it because you're a bigot against different sexualities. It's like, no one cared, but like, make a new character. Don't tarnish the clear straightness of Billy D. Williams and totally change his character retroactively.
Yeah, I agree. Going on with that too. So yeah, what do you feel about them changing established characters? Nerd. Yeah.
I think it's lazy, and it's just a gimmick to get more people to watch it. Like, it's really clear that they only do this to pander to the left. Like, why would you change something that works? You know, just create your own characters. And often when you tell them that, they just tell you, oh, you're racist, you're homophobic. But really, they just lack creativity. You know, they just try to mooch off someone else's success and someone else's creativity instead of coming up with something awesome that people like. And it's, to me, it's just laziness. And
yeah, I mean, with me, okay, I don't understand. They keep on acting. This is what really I don't understand what they're doing. They lately they act as if women have never been strong before. Now is the revolutionary mark in history where women can be strong again. And it's just, what the? Have you not seen the last movies that have come out in the last 40 years? The women in it, like. I mean, like what's funny. Yes, I do. I'm one of the people that, yes, I think there should be more diversity in some movies and, you know, some more cool women to get attached to. But it's like, they have to be good characters. That's the point. If they're not, what is the point here? And if you're just taking, like, let's make the Black Luke Skywalker. No. Make a new good character that you can like as well. Don't just go, hey, you recognize that character?
Oh,
well, we're gonna swap out what's between his legs and swap out the color of his skin. Hey, don't you like him now? And it's just no, that's not the point. That's not a good thing. In fact, I think they should be more pissed off with that. It's like I don't know. Like I never thought in my life, you know, all these white guys, they should definitely just swap some skin. It's just like, I don't know. I never thought any of these black characters, they'd be so much more likable if they just had more white on them. Like, I never, you know, that chick needs a little more balls between her legs. Like, it's never been a thought that crossed my mind.
Rookie, just going back real quick, I forgot what plans I was going to make. I don't think the problem is necessarily going back for prequels of characters that we know die, because you have Darth Vader. The prequels all sold well because it's an interesting story to see how someone progresses to that point, and knowing that he's going to die in Episode 6, sure. But you have the same thing with Darth Maul. They brought him back, and we figured at some point he had to wait till Rebels, but like people still bought into it. You know, Maul fans at least. So I don't think it's necessarily it's a prequel to a character that dies. That's a problem for like Cassian. I think the problem is that it was all contained within George's head. Like he wanted to tell this story in 9 movies originally. He wrote 12 stories, and he condensed it to 9, and he only got to make 6 before he just got tired of the fans shitting on him. But it was his story that he wanted to tell. And now it's just, you know, it's a corporate entity that is just like Toys R Us. Toys R Us was a family thing, and then you see it starts going downhill when the business that bought it was like a conglomerate of just, you know, guys taking debt to buy a business to try to get more money and stuff, and it didn't work.
Well, to be fair, too, the prequels were telling a story about a main character from the originals, as to where Rogue One is, who's that about? Like, and does that, who's ever's in Rogue One, I mean, that's one movie, and do they deserve a whole show? Compared to if you were to take anybody from the main cast of the prequels or the originals, that would be a little more, that would make more sense as to fleshing them out and giving more backstory. But to Cassian, I mean, who, like the fans probably wanted to know more about Vader. Who wants to know more about Cassian? Who would want to know more about any of them? I mean, maybe Jyn Erso would have been like, okay, they kind of skipped all of her growing up years of she went from baby to I can fight everyone now. You know, maybe that'd be a cool story, but I doubt it. But you know, as far as we know, they could turn that into a good way. I'm going to address the chat here real quick, and then we'll get right back to some stuff. Yeah, it's our main crew in here. I haven't noticed anybody else different yet, but I'm scrolling around a little. We got the Sith, or not? Yeah, we got the Sith Kryptonian, the Lone Wolf Cub, Hallmark Jeremy, Princess Iruka, and JP4. And getting some people in here. So yeah, Iruka says first introduce them in other hero movies, and then do 2 or 3 times to make a movie. Yep. I agree when you introduce new people. Hallmark Jeremy says to Black Angus, it would have been nice to have heard that vet stream live. Yeah, I think he listened to it later as
Shortly.
well. Yep, and then what's that? Doing some robot love, says Hallmark Jeremy. Nice. All right. Yep. Nothing too big. And then Jeremy. I'm just gonna call him Jeremy right now because I kept on almost calling him Mark Hamill Jeremy the other day. Until a different Jeremy comes in here, I'm just gonna call him Jeremy. And he says only if you have a particular set of skills, Sith. I assume he's talking to Sith Kryptonian on that. Somebody gave us a dislike on the video. Oh, that's fine. There's one video that had like 20 dislikes within like 5 minutes for some reason, and there wasn't even 20 people watching.
But that one stream we did.
Yeah, I don't remember which episode that was. I think that was the Halloween one or something, but that was pretty funny. But all right, so back to this. So with the okay, I think we'll just bounce back and forth between Star Wars and Marvel and stuff. But with Marvel, with the smiling stuff, do you think so? With my opinion, the Marvel trailer looked okay overall, and the scenes they showed happened to not have her really emoting very much, but a lot of people took it so far on both sides of this is going to be an SJW bullshit and this is horrible, and then the other side's like, you guys are just mad, what if we put smiles on all these other faces and blah blah blah, and I was just like, what the hell are you talking about? Those guys are emoting in whatever they're doing, and she's just blanking it. And it was like, we just want some emotion. We just want to see somebody feel a little sad or feel scared or feel happy or feel angry or feel something, worried, anything. And it was just kind of like, no, if you were to say, what's she feeling right there? I have no clue because she's not giving an official trailer yet, or do they just still have the teaser?
I think they dropped the first trailer, but usually MCU movies like have 2 or 3.
Right. I'm waiting to give my better guesstimates, I guess, on the movie until I see them, because for all we know, they could show a moment where she's a good character. Who knows? I do like they almost have it in the bag. I mean, they showed her get knocked down as a kid, get knocked down a little older, get knocked down in this and get up, but then they just have her look so uninteresting, and then it looks like she's just given the power she has. Now, okay, this may sound stupid. So I was watching Power Rangers Time Force yesterday while I was working on some videos. Just in the background, I put on random stuff on Netflix sometimes, and I felt a little nostalgic, put that on. And the Quantum Ranger, he grew up around a bunch of rich kids, but he never had any of that. And so he had to work for everything that he has. And then when he has the opportunity to get a morpher and become a ranger himself, like he basically fought them for it in a way and used what he could to get it. And it's like, so if we have Miss Marvel do something like that, where she, isn't going to get this power or something, or she's in a vulnerable situation, and then she, risks a bunch and fights for it and then gets the power, that might be interesting. But it looks like she's just given it based on the trailer. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. What do you think?
Yeah, but Miss Marvel, like, her story is she inherits Captain Marvel's power. So I don't know, they're probably gonna go with that. Like, there's an accident, she works at a lab and stuff, and then as I have Miss Marvel #1, but I don't remember. It was actually a really great comic. But she'll probably have her powers from the get-go. But the problem that I see is that if we don't know how she is, like, we didn't get a sense of her personality in that trailer, and it's hard to want to see something if we don't know how she is. All we see is like the bland, she just like looking at the camera like dead-eyed,
Yep, which we all know isn't very fun at all.
Yeah,
big time. I don't know. I mean, like, Angus, what do you think?
I have no hope for Captain Marvel. They're releasing it on International Women's Day, just to give you an idea.
oh boy.
Wonder Woman, the icon that goes behind the "We Can Do It" poster, they go hand in hand. Never try to pull that shit, because she's bigger than just trying to pander to feminism or something. She's just a good character. Overall, she's been real well written. With saying that, I hate where people are like, oh, well, Captain America does this in the comics. And it's like, yeah, there's been bad stories in comics, and people don't
Yes.
remember those. So don't just go off like
Those don't
oh,
get
it's in the comics,
those
so
don't get
he can do
adapted
it.
to the movie.
Yeah, like they adapt the best and most well-loved story. So some stories of good characters are shit. So keep that in mind. But there's just nothing that sounds appealing about Captain Marvel. Feige said she's going to be the most powerful Avenger, and it's like, what? They're going to take down Thanos, you assume, and it's like, I thought Thor, if anyone should be the leader of the Avengers going forward, I think Thor has earned that keep. Barring that, they kill all the original Avengers, but he's had I think, arguably the biggest progression, because not just Captain America, personal, but you watch Thor, and he's learned his power and stuff, but he's also, lost everything. He's lost his homeland. It's not just oh, I lost time with people like Captain America. It's like his homeland is destroyed by Surtur. So,
And his family.
Yeah, and his family, like everything about him, like you
And his
assume
hammer.
half of Asgard is dead. Yeah, his hammer is like is a symbol of his heroism. Like everything is destroyed,
In his eye.
or tainted. Yeah, he's got a butthole eye now from Rocket Raccoon. Uh, like everything, his character has progressed in a way where he's as opposed to being sort of a clown, a Shakespearean clown. Now he's like a funny guy that you like feel for. Say what we will about Ragnarok, but they gave him a personality that was like spot on to like him. So I think he should be the leader going forward. Hemsworth is young enough to keep doing it, as opposed to Downey Jr. and Evans is just tired of doing it. But I'm afraid Marvel will really be the Superman, and it's like Superman is hard enough to like, but then you do a woman Superman with this political agenda, that's just not going to work.
Yeah. How do you think it could work, Psych Nerd? How do you think they can make her character work?
I think they need to play up the like when she gets her powers, Miss Marvel. Like Carol doesn't know she's Miss Marvel. She doesn't know that she transformed into this superhero, and so she has like this amnesia or whatever. I think if they play that, then the like whole Deadeye thing makes sense. But for the story to be good, they need to focus on heroics. They can't focus on just her being a woman because it's gonna tank, and we all know that's what's gonna happen. If you look at Wonder Woman, I think Black Angus made a good point. Even though it's DC, people keep saying, "Oh, we're not gonna watch this movie because we're feminist," and we're feminists because we're sexist. Because Captain Marvel is a woman, but like Wonder Woman did really great at the box office. So I don't know what they're trying to do, but the fact that Brie is a big feminist, I really hope the writers aren't.
That's a very good point. Yeah, so I was trying to think about this. So I think there's ways that she could work. I think if she is the most powerful, like they said, I think that's kind of dumb, but I think that they could still make it work. Where like if she gets this power, whatever the means is that she gets it, I want her to go. I'm going to go fight Thanos. I'm so much stronger, and then she gets her ass kicked. And then she realizes she needs, assistance, or maybe the others take him down while she's recovering. And it's like her going forward after that can be a learning thing where it's like, she has all the power that she wants, but Thanos has over 1,000 years of life experience and fighting skills and techniques and knowledge on abilities. So technically I would think he'd be able to outsmart her, outskill her anyway. That's what I think. And if she were to, lose, like that's something that Rey never did in Star Wars, this would be a huge improvement on the character and help us sort of like her. And she's always the one that wants to get back up and fight. But, maybe she has to get up and think before she swings again, instead of just, oh, I'm just going to go fight you again. I have all this power. Who cares? No, you have to learn how to be skilled. You got to learn about technique. And, maybe it could be like a Superman thing, like Angus said. Maybe she's like, I have all this power, but look at all these people around me. If I unleash, then I'm just going to hurt everyone. So she's got to learn how to keep it down. And maybe, she's worried that her emotions will get the best of her and hurt people. Like that would be something. Maybe that's why she's bland.
Yeah.
For all we know, she's trying to keep her cool at all times. And it's like, okay, everybody's pushing her buttons all the time. She might pop. Who knows? That would be something. I plan on doing a video one of these days. I don't know if I'll really get to it this year, but it was what if they used the Captain Marvel power but gave it to somebody else, to a different character? Like, let's say, just for heck's sake, it doesn't matter if they did it in the comics or not. I'm just giving it a thing based on the MCU and based on what we've seen with Marvel so far. What if like Black Widow got the Captain Marvel powers now? Or what if another female character, Pepper Potts or someone, got that power? Do you think something like that could work? Or what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with the fact that she needs to struggle. Like, she can't go head first into a fight with Thanos and just win. You know, people are gonna get pissed off, and it's gonna be a shit show. But yeah, if they give that power to any character that we already have in the MCU, then we get the whole like learning curve. Like, they have to learn their powers. They have to learn to, you know, as you said, to not destroy everything around them if they have like unlocked this really big source of power. And I think it's really awesome to see that, like, this character progressing from being kind of weak compared to the other heroes, and just trying to work with all that power that they have now and not letting it consume them, and not the fear of also hurting people around them. I think, is really good to explore.
Yeah, that's good. And that's what I'm trying to get at. I mean, I really want to make a video about this because I think that Black Widow would make the perfect candidate for it, because she's always had control in a way. And then there's all these people with superpowers around her, and, she's just trying to be noticed with it and try to still be on their level and be able to participate in helping people. And but the fact that she's always had control over herself and her emotions, like if she all of a sudden has all this power, I think that might be her first like big struggle in a long time over controlling it. And it's like because she's always so composed, and this might be difficult to handle. I mean, that could really affect her psyche with it. She might not want to, she might distance herself from people, or, be completely different. Who knows what would happen? Like, who knows what would happen with her? And like, if Pepper Potts, I mean, that's just another name that popped into my head. It's like, if she got it, I mean, she'd be freaking the hell out. It would be a huge thing. And, Stark would be trying to do what he can, but, I think she'd be afraid to kill him. And, I don't know, that'd be an interesting thing. And she always bugs him about him with power. And what if she just wants to suppress it and then try to live on? But I mean, could she? Or would she, if she sees someone in danger now, does she want to be a hero? She's the head of a business. What is she going to do? Like, that would be a much better story. Angus, I want your thoughts too on some of this. What do you think?
I don't know. I see the beginning of the end. I was looking at the chat, and Hallmark Jeremy said, if Thanos beat down Captain Marvel, he'd be labeled a toxic, misogynist member of the patriarchy and killed instantly by NPCs. It's like, well, he's the villain, so like, I'm, her beating her ass to paint him a bad guy. He's already a bad guy. He's more of a bad guy on an existential level of an argument of, is it moral to do this or not? So I think that'd be a downgrade for him as a villain, but like, I have no problem with a villain beating a woman. Like, that's something that men don't look kindly on just naturally, because women are you look at the best Olympians, the best woman is going to lose to the best man on a test. That's just how biology works with testosterone. Because of that, men want to protect women, because we know our strength is. That's why it's a big deal if a man hits a woman, because we're stronger. So I'm fine with a villain being abusive to a woman to make him a bad guy. That'd be a useful tool, I guess, with the Me Too crap. But it hindering thing though with this movement. So that'd be my problem with it. But inherently, I have no problem with an abuser or whatever as a villain, because that's a bad thing, and villains are bad.
Yeah. And like, I watched the second 300 movie yesterday, and I love how they introduce, the head of the
Yeah, Artemisia.
The Persian, the Persian army, and like she's a woman who's in command, but like we see her backstory, we see why she became that way, we saw her training, it makes sense that she's leading an army. And when it came down to it, the Greek, I forget, they all have weird names.
Themistocles.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought this. I literally did a video on that on the characters of 300. Posted that like last week about with the 300. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So yeah, keep going.
Yeah, and like when it comes down to it, he offered her a way out. When they're fighting in the end, but he saw that she didn't want to surrender, so he had to kill her. And
yeah.
That's what equality is. You introduce an awesome female character, you put her against a male character, and there's no discrimination there. If it would have been a JW movie, he wouldn't have killed her. But that didn't make sense with the character. It was.
Yeah, it was. He had no option. He had no other choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that you brought that up because Artemisia, I think she'd be a great character to have in Star Wars or Marvel. I mean, that type of thing where that's a way to do it, to make us sympathize. She was so vulnerable for her childhood and everything, and had a really shit life, and was brought up by other people to be strong, and became a strong character through that. And I think she's a little exaggerated. It's a Zack Snyder style movie. I don't think he directed that one, but they kept the style of it. And
he was the producer.
Yeah, producer, and it's like I don't know. Her character is cool though. I hated that movie, the second 300, but I do like her parts in it, and especially that scene when they meet up for the first time. I was like, this was pretty tension filled, and then they just go at it with each other. I was like, what the? It's interesting though. It's like you don't see that very often, where the enemies go at each other real quick, and then they go back on opposite sides.
Yeah,
right away.
No. Okay.
No, usually they go, oh well, I'll just be on your side or something, and they're like, no, we're just gonna do this real quick, and then be on opposite sides again.
Yep. I just did it, so thanks.
Yes, but yeah, I made a Spartacus versus 300 series, and we're still working on it right now. I had part 1 forever ago, like back when I was first doing this again, and then just recently did my part 2, and I've got the other ones all recorded. Just taking a while to get those out, but yeah, 300 has some good-ish characters for women. They're not too on the nose. Like even the queen, she's only spotted women give birth to real men. And then she, but then she gets she gets raped, right? Like in the movie, but then she kills him. And so it's like, they can give the empowering stuff as well as make someone vulnerable. And when you make them vulnerable, I think it's when you can latch on more. And then when they get moments of strength, it's like, oh yes, you did it, like a triumph. But when they just stroll through and kick ass the whole way, like what they're probably going to do with Miss Marvel, it's like, who would give a shit? Like, I don't care. You're just being you're a girl with all this power and you're hurting people. Who cares?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep. I'm going to address the chat real quick and see if they want to talk about anything different or not. See what they're talking about real quick. Johnny5 says, if feminists want to be treated equally, they should accept getting hit by a man. What do you think about that, Psych Nerd?
Well, that would hurt. But the thing is, we are equal in the way that our strengths are different. Normal people know that men are stronger than us physically, and normal people also know that women are caretakers, and they're good at planning stuff and just taking care of people. But yeah, I think that's what equality should look like. It's we each have our unique strengths, and with those we complete each other.
Yeah, I agree.
Complementarianism.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. What do you think about it, Angus?
Sorry?
What do you think about that question, or what Johnny5 said? If they want to be equal, they should accept being hit by a man. I think he's referring to if they hit a man, he should be able to hit him back. Is what I'm assuming he's referring to.
That's the crux of the argument. Whenever you interact with these feminists, especially male feminists, it's like, oh, if we're equal, then why is it a big deal if I punch a woman, that we're equal? And it's like, oh, because we're not, you know. And so they do this double standard in almost everything they believe in. You know, oh, we want egalitarianism. Is it female centric? Oh, yeah. It's like I never got the like before I ever really understood any of this political stuff when I was just, you know, a dumb kid from Oklahoma, being confronted with this stuff. I had that simple take of, um, oh crap, it'll come to me. I'll think of it in a minute. I lost it.
Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, if Thanos beats down Captain Marvel, he'd be labeled a toxic, misogynistic member of the patriarchy and killed instantly by NPCs. Yeah, probably. I don't know. What do you feel about let's change it up slightly for a sec. What do you think about Thanos being in the second Avengers film? Because I think Thanos, his story is told and it's done. And, you know, like I thought, okay, that's nice. And then in the next movie, it can be about trying to reset things. But I don't think they need to fight Thanos again. What do you think?
They're probably going to make another big fight, like when they get... I don't know. I'm thinking either they're gonna reset the time back to when he got the glove, or he got like the last stone, and then they have the big fight there. But then Miss Marvel wouldn't be there, so I'm not sure what they're gonna do with that. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of tired too that they keep on announcing this stuff so early that we even know about it right now. I'm like, can we wait until like the trailer drops or something and then talk about it? Instead of all this preconceptions, because I feel like we end up talking about this for so long, like with Miss Marvel. That's out for how many months out is that? Like 5 months out?
Yeah.
And we already have our preconceptions of it, but like with the trailer, and I mean, I guess the trailer did drop for it, but I don't remember if it was a talk beforehand about how it's going to be or not, with things said. And it's like when you can dwell on it for so long, I mean, it gets really dull and the taste is when the movie comes out, I think. Sometimes, and I just kind of want to be surprised, like, oh, hey, look, that movie's coming out. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
And then you learn about it, and then maybe you go in and see it with whatever you find out.
Yeah. It's because I think they're trying to build so much hype for it, but I really think they're trying to trap us into saying, oh, look, I told you, all the MCU fans, they're just a bunch of sexists. You know, why would they announce it so early, and why would Brie Larson be like so outspoken about this stuff? You know?
Yeah, I like the way you put that, and the controversy gets them more views, I would assume. Yeah. Like, I don't know what. Like Angus watches more of the political stuff than I do. Like, I don't really know that much about Brie Larson or about what she said, but it sounds like she is going, oh, white males don't know, they're so privileged and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't understand that. When they say that, it's like, I can't change the fact that I'm a white male. Do you want me to be black now and a woman or something? Like, what do you want? Like, I can't change that. So I don't understand what the point is in saying that. Yeah.
You saw Proud Mary. What was the gist of that movie?
Let me try to remember. The trailer is misleading, by the way. They make it look like it's gonna be an action-packed, kick-ass movie. There's only 2 action scenes. It's about her watching after this kid. Yeah, okay, let me try to remember. Okay, so she goes and kill. I'm just gonna spoil the movie. I'm sorry, guys, but it's not like anybody's gonna see it anyway. I mean, if you haven't seen it yet, you won't see it anyway. She kills this guy, and then there's a kid in the room or in the next room playing a video game and didn't know that yet, that his dad's dead. And she's like, oh, I feel bad. And then she kind of like stalkily watches after this kid for the next like year or two to make sure he's safe or something. And then this kid, his dad was apparently dealing with Russians or something, and the kid is running cocaine and drugs for them. And then she's like, oh, kid, you need to not do that. And he's like, oh, shut the fuck up, bitch. And then she's part of this black gang. I'm sorry, I'm just saying what it is because I don't know what the hell their names were, but they're gangs. And they said Russians, and you're the whatever street side of this. I'm just calling them the black gang for now. And then she tries to save him, so she kills a bunch of the Russian gang, and they had a peace thing with that gang, and then that gets destroyed. And they have good actors in it, honestly, but they don't really do much with them. I think they have Danny Glover in it too, as like the gang boss of their thing. And I don't know. And then she's just trying to protect the kid, and then she just has to kill a bunch of people, I guess. And it's pretty boring. I mean, I don't know. There wasn't a huge message in it, which is good. And some of the emotions that they show are pretty genuine. Like I think she cries in one scene. Cookie, because I don't remember. Yeah, her name's Mary, I guess, but Cookie sounds better for her. And I don't know. That was good. But yeah, I don't know. It's forgettable. Annihilation, to me, I know that Angus loves it. Another one that has female starring in it. I mean, yeah. I liked certain things in it, but ultimately it was kind of dull and boring for me. I mean, they left it ambiguous, which I think was part of the point. But I mean, I don't know why I'd want to go see it again. Nothing about it made me go, oh, yeah, I want to see Annihilation. Anybody want to come over and have a party while we watch this? Like, no. And then, so I don't know. These are other small. I think he asked that because there are other movies starring females as the leads in action roles and stuff, and they're forgettable. These ones, but I think that's because the story sucked.
Yeah. Annihilation, like it looked really cool, but it was just too slow, like for what it was supposed to be. Yeah,
I mean, I was really trying to stay awake. I was gonna try to do a double duty and watch that and Red Sparrow in the same day, but my God, I'm glad I didn't. So glad I didn't do that. But I mean, the bear scene where they're like tied down and the bear comes in there, that was pretty freaky. It's like shouting the voice of the dead chick at them. I was like, okay, that would definitely make you shit yourself. But other than that, they just kind of walk around. There's just kind of some creepy stuff going on, I guess. And then, I don't know. Then she finds the copy thing. And I like how it's ambiguous, but I do kind of know what the hell's going on a little bit. Like, at least a little bit.
Yeah, see, I love biology, so that's what really sold me on the movie was the inverse idea of complexity and simplicity going further to the origin, because it gets more complex the further they go in, as opposed to it should be reverse. And like, I just love like I want to see the behind the scenes of like how challenging it was to film like the mirror image stuff. That whole like demonic techno music while the fucking alien is like mimicking her. I just loved it.
I don't know. I was really just going, what the fuck? Okay. She punches him, or they fall, and then and they're just okay. They're still walking around, and I don't know. I was really just like, it's just, I have no idea. I was just like, I don't know what am I supposed to.
No, I was asking about Proud Mary because Brie Larson, her saying that crap was in response to A Wrinkle in Time and Proud Mary both being bombs, and so feminists try to say, oh, it's because it's females that it bombed, and we got sexist men reviewing it, but no one complained when Black Panther was like a 99 on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's a minority movie.
Right? How many of those were white people saying that? For non-blacks?
The thing is, they have to say it, otherwise they're racist.
Well, it's like, take war movies. Do I have to have been in a war or be a veteran in order to save my opinion on that shit? Like, I mean, that's part of the thing, right? You have people from different walks of life give their opinions on it. Otherwise, it'd be the same thing. Like, I don't expect all professional critics to, be a good source of what I like or what I want to see, because if they all went to school, all did the same thing, what would be the point of that? You gotta have some people with different backgrounds.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep. Well, all right. So do you read actual comics?
Yeah, I have a crap ton of comics, and I have a box full of those I didn't read yet because I got like so many of them at the same time, but working on them. I just got Rags. I don't know if you guys know that one.
Which one?
Sorry, who?
Rags Zombie.
I've heard of it. I haven't read that one though.
Yeah.
Is that a Comicsgate one?
Yep.
Yeah, I've only bought the Jawbreakers because that was the first one I learned about, and then just everything else that comes out, it's like a bad time when the due date is due for money for me, so haven't had a chance.
Yeah, I really love this one because like it's so unexpected, and I think that's what's lacking in a lot of comics and movies and just entertainment as a whole. Like, there's not a lot of characters that have unexpected characteristics or struggles, or like even the story. It's it's refreshing to read stuff like that.
Yeah, I hear you. I actually haven't read a comic book before. Like EVS kind of got me into the comic stuff in the first place, and it's like I don't know. He kept on talking about Cyberfrog when he was doing his Star Wars videos. He's like talking about Star Wars, and he's like, "Oh, I have this little frog book. So I got some cool drawings and it's old thing I had back in the '90s, and some hornets come to Earth and take our skin and make that wax, and then they suck our blood, and that's honey, and all this stuff." And I was like, "This sounds kind of cool." And he's like, "Salamandroid, and he's got these armor things, and they shoot these," and I'm like, "Okay." And then the frog eats fried chicken. I'm like, "I gotta freaking see this thing." And it's like what he was able to do through YouTube and by explaining his comic was get a non-comic person interested in a comic book. And like nothing Marvel or DC has done at all has made me even aware that they still make comic books. I was kind of surprised that comics are still a thing. I'm like, they're still comic books? Yeah. Well, what? Okay. And then I don't know, like I like a lot of the characters they have in Marvel and DC, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I'd ever want to sit down and read a book. There's TV shows and movies I could watch. Why would I read these? I mean, the stories could be good, but they haven't done anything to pull me into those stories like themselves. Like, do they have a comic book Marvel channel that they talk about some of their comics ideas a little bit and do anything? I mean, that might get me convinced, but I don't know. Do you think they should have ads for comic books?
Yeah, that was my whole thing. What you're talking about, it's like, man, he's beating Marvel and DC at their own business, because like they have a Marvel, I'm sure DC has one too. They have a Marvel YouTube channel. Like, why are they not being like, hey, check out this new thing with this hot artist doing it and blah blah blah, or here's the new cover guy, or here's the alternate. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they had, what do you think, Psychology Nerd? If they had like advertisement with comics, like let's just say they had the Captain Marvel coming out, and at the end of the trailer, they have like 10 seconds where they say something about a comic book that goes with it, or something. Or if they were to make a new character, let's say in the MCU, they make a brand new superhero, and they have a comic book with it, but they have that as part of the advertisement. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it could work. I think their biggest problem right now is exactly that, lack of, they're not announcing anything, and they just think people will go buy comics because they're Marvel, but like you need to get people interested, and I think they're not pulling a lot of new people in because of that, and to try and pull people in, they're like gender bending all kinds of heroes. They're like, oh, we want more women to read our comics, And I don't know. I feel like they're out of touch with what people really want.
Yeah, and I like Angus said, if they had like a YouTube thing to explain who's the next thing, who's the next artist, or who's the next writer, or something, that would get me interested a little bit. Like, let us get to know you a little. I mean, that's the thing too. You could have a shitty product, but if you're a nice person, you're more inclined to buy it from them. I mean, I would think so. If you're a salesman and you're trying to sell like a piece of paper, like, nobody he goes, I don't want to pay $1 for a piece of paper. But depending on what the guy says and how their attitude is, maybe you'd be convinced to buy a piece of paper for $1. Like, that's kind of how it is, I think. In the chat, the 6th Scale Combat asked us a question about what is our opinion on the war campaign. He says normal fans or semi-fascists. He's talking about the Robe Abir Kamar, I think, with Comicsgate. You guys know about that?
I didn't follow this whole war camping thing. I thought it was just the thing about EVS, but do you guys know about it?
I really don't watch them all that much. What about you, Angus? With the war campaign? He might be dealing with his kids right now. I think he muted himself for it. So, or it could be in the bathroom. Or it could be in the bathroom.
I didn't realize I muted.
Okay.
The war campaign. I thought I was talking to y'all, so I'm like, why aren't y'all like? I'm interrupting you on accident.
No.
No, the war campaign. I'm somehow following one of the guys like Lando Panboy or some shit like that, Soy Boy on Twitter. I don't know how. I think he's one of the big people in this war campaign thing. I don't get what the hell it is, but
the Panboy sounds... Soy Child, that guy.
Yeah, Yeah.
He's world-class
It sounds
bullshitters.
like they're like hostile comics gators.
Yeah, I mean, I think when Vox Day was doing his stream, they flooded it with trolling or something. I don't know. I think they do lots of harsh jokes, I think, is what I'm getting the opinion of. Like when with John Delarose or something, they're really, hitting him hard with some shit. Like, oh, cut your head off or something. And or bring his head to me was, I think, what the wording was on it. So I don't know. I was just answering the question in there. We really don't know that much about it. 6 scale combat. Don't really pay attention too much to that. So not too much info on that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep. Yep. And then Princess Erica says the movies should have been advertisements, or the movies should have been advertisements for the comics. That's a good point. Like if the movie comes out and then they have the comic, don't they do that?
Well, they do have like preludes that they've done, like prelude to Age of Ultron, prelude to Black Panther. I've seen those, but they don't really market them. Like DC has finally tried to like get ahead, and now they got like the $5 100-page or whatever comics in Walmarts now, which I think like how have you not tried to get into the Walmart and Target game? I don't understand. Like they're everywhere. Or
Yeah.
Best Buy, because that's where nerds go is for tech
True.
and stuff. Because or Hot Topics, sort of. Like I don't know, just there's all sorts of outlets that could facilitate different facets of comics. And they don't try, like it's because they got a corner on the market and they get the top share, and then the comic book stores they get into it because they're passionate, but they get fucked on the sales, make at best 90 cents a copy.
Well, you see, I feel bad for them because I think if they had like a combination blockbuster / comic book store, they do pretty well. Or like a movie or a place you could purchase movies. But like, because the movies would get people in because that'd be the big hook. That'd be the main hook. And then you could, come in and see these comics next to the movies or, as near the movies and go, hey, that's a Captain Marvel thing. And there was a Captain Marvel movie and then blah, blah, blah. Or that was the Thanos, and they have a Thanos series, a whole comic series on that shit. And, I think that would get people's more attention more. I mean, I didn't even, like I said, I wasn't even aware that they still made them. And hey, if they had them where I go to buy movies, maybe I would have seen them, but I never see them.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting thing, real quick. I just thought of. So, did either of y'all watch the Clone Wars, the original Samurai Jack style animated series from like 2003?
I've seen a little bit of it, but I haven't watched that whole series now.
Yeah, how about you, nerd?
I haven't watched them.
Oh, you can find it on YouTube. It's free. I'll try to find a link and share it to both of y'all because I own both of them. My son, he Darth Vader. It's clearly an iconic image, even for a little kid to see Vader. He knows the Imperial Death March music. He knows like some of the music, but he's not a big Star Wars kid. He still loves choo-choos and puppies and stuff. But I put on that Clone Wars cartoon, and he just stopped and was watching it. Like it's mesmerizing. It's got Kit Fisto in it. It's got Mace Windu and Grievous and everything. Well, those movies were in between 2 and 3. They were originally canon for the movies, and they show how like Asajj Ventress comes into the story against Anakin, how he gets a cut on his eye. And little details are like why Grievous coughs. This is because he fights Mace Windu, and it's like
don't they show the Emperor, the Palpatine get captured too, or the Chancellor?
They do that in the animated, like the computer animation one. But the whole point I was making with this is that this is a perfect outlet for what comics should be doing with the movie industry. Is instead of trying to uphold like whatever stories they're adapting, like say The Dark Knight Returns is the classic one, or Man of Steel or whatever. In between the series that you're making, which is essentially new comic stories, you should be having these stories in the comics in between the movies to keep people hooked. Where it's like, hey, we're going to progress the story some, and this is how you can keep up with the adventures in between.
Yeah, well put. Now, what do you think about that, nerd?
It sounds really interesting. Actually, I'm kind of sad I didn't watch them, but at least I get to experience them. So you said they're on YouTube for free?
Yeah, I'll find the link for them. Like I own them because I'm a big cinephile, and I have like 3 bookshelves full of DVDs, and they're all ordered by genre and stuff. And so it's a real bitch when I get a new DVD and have to reorganize. But like, I had to have it for my Star Wars collection.
Awesome. Definitely gonna watch those because I heard there's this new one that's coming out, but people aren't really liking it. This new animated Star Wars show.
Oh yeah, our buddy flipped out it so you don't have to watch it, and he commits acts of child abuse by making his children watch it too.
My God, is it that bad?
Yes.
Oh.
It looks
Yeah.
it looks like the Disney like 9 a.m. cartoons, you know, like that style. Like, do you guys remember like the Roly Polies or something from back in the
Oh,
day?
I love Roly Polioli.
From like back in the day. That's what it reminds me of. I mean, maybe the animation is slightly better now, but it's like that's what the Resistance seems to look like.
It's really
to me.
off-putting.
It's
really
like, oh,
off-putting
it just
style.
looks jarring. It's like, I mean, it's not horrible, but my God, is it not fun to look at?
That sucks.
Yeah, I tried to show my
Definitely.
wife the trailer because I'm like, this is like one of the worst reviewed trailers I've ever seen on YouTube. It has like 10 times as many dislikes as likes.
It's gonna have
I tried to show-
100,000 dislikes soon.
yeah, I tried to show her the trailer and she's like, no, I can't watch. Like, I can't take this animation. It's freaking me out. Like, she only watched like 20 seconds of it, and it's like, Jesus, like.
That's how I feel about Rick and Morty and their mouths.
Oh,
Like,
I love Rick
the
and
way their
Morty.
mouths are like sharp teeth and bottom and front, and it's like a square or a rectangle shape. I hate that. Like, if they're not speaking, I could probably look at it, but since they speak and their mouths look like that, I can't focus. I'm like, oh, I just noticed this too much, like way too much. Hey, we have Avori67 in the chat here too, saying Angus. You guys been chatting?
Sorry, who?
Voorhees67.
No, I just now saw it when you said it. Hello, Vorhees67.
I think he's a bullshitter. Not one of them on things, but in the chats in
Yeah,
that group area, Voorhees67. So, what is up, my
Probably.
dude? So that's probably how he recognized you because you were on the stream all day yesterday.
he's probably chanting from like AC/DC when they're live. They have parts where like Angus, Angus. Like if he knows AC/DC, he knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, that's probably what he's referencing then, because I don't know shit. Definitely. Alrighty.
People watched the new movie. It's Mile 22, I think. Yeah, Mile 22.
Mile 22. No, I haven't heard about that one.
It's pretty great. What's her name from The Walking Dead? Maggie, Lauren Cohen, and then there's this really awesome martial artist that I didn't know about, and he was in that movie too. But they really, and they have Ronda Rousey too, but she has no fight scenes, which is weird.
What?
Yeah, so I feel like they did the whole powerful women, like women being soldiers thing, without implementing feminism in it. Like there's this one scene where Ronda Rousey says, I think some guys tells her like, how does it feel to be how does it feel being in a man's world? And she just tells them to fuck off. Like, other than that, I think that movie was really cool.
I think that's perfect. I think that's a good way to handle it. It's like, oh, what do you think about being a woman in a man's world?
Mhm.
Fuck you, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need to go, well, I think it's this, and I'm just trying to get along, and it's harder for me because no, just fuck off.
It's so hard for a woman. No, it's not.
Yes, see, that's the thing that bugs me too. You go first, Angus. Come back to.
Oh, I was just going to ask. This is something I keep hearing an accent, and someone says something about you're from Canada, and if that's so, are you like British or French Canadian?
Oh no, I'm French Canadian, so I'm from Quebec.
Okay, so it was a French accent I'm hearing. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I was wondering too. I wasn't going to ask though, because so far I've had a British, a German, almost had an Australian, a Blackie, Angus, no, just kidding. And Jeff the Iron Wolf and stuff. Everybody from all
Now
around.
you got two women. Now you got two women that you can use as shields against the NPCs.
I've had three
Mhm.
women.
Urka.
Three
Oh,
women.
three, yeah, because of Nerdette.
Nerdette, yep. Three of them. This is the record. Big time. Yep, big time. Yeah, I actually just messaged her to see if she's coming in. She said she just slept in really late, so we'll see if she comes in here or not. But all right. Do you guys want to change up to any topic, or you guys still want to talk about this for a little bit? I mean, I think we can obviously keep on going if we want, but if you guys had anything else you want to bring up or discuss?
I was going to ask Nerd what, besides Rags, what is she, like, what mainstream, it doesn't have to be new mainstream, but like, what mainstream, if at all, comics have you read or are you reading?
For mainstream, like most of the old X-Men, the Wolverine runs, like the 90s ones, I really love like the 90s comics. It just reminds me of my childhood. And I have a bunch of like Silver Age Spider-Man that I love reading. But like the new ones that are coming out, I think I still have Batman, Catwoman, The Walking Dead on my pull list, and that's about it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm always trying to learn more Batman because versatile. Like I had this argument where like Punisher and Batman have a very similar origin, but for some reason it's like, especially in the show, it's like, dude, Punisher, get the fuck over it. As opposed to things like, well, my parents, but you still buy it for some reason, no matter how they adapt it. Maybe it's because it's from his childhood trauma, as opposed to like an adult where you see men get over it at some point and remarry.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the problem. I don't know, but it's a real limitation in my opinion if you make that the crux for Punisher, because I've seen some stories where like he gets a girlfriend later on, and even though he's kind of still stuck on his wife, he's still being a man in that sense sexually. I read Batman Death by Design. It looked kind of cool. The artwork was like not erased at all. It was all like blue pencil drawn with the charcoal over it for the inking.
Nice.
It doesn't look bad. It looks kind of timeless and 50s-ish, but like without a real time, kind of like the cartoon. But the whole crux was architecture as like the premise of like the setting of conflict, and it's just like this is forgettable. But I checked out
Weird for Batman.
Returns trilogy, and I read the first one, of course, Dark Knight Returns. So I'm excited to read it all through. And Punisher, I would suggest the Garth Ennis run, the Punisher Max is pretty good. He interviewed a lot of Vietnam vets to kind of nail the psyche of I can't remember, Frank Castle for the book.
Nice. Yeah, because I heard that some of the Punisher books have become really SJW, so I didn't touch them at all. But yeah, and I really loved the show too. Like what they did with the Netflix Punisher show was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm messaging somebody real quick, so you guys just chit chat for a little bit.
Did you watch the Netflix show, Angus?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I watched the show. I just finished Daredevil season 3. It's okay, but the fact that they're trying to get really on the nose political is a turnoff. Even if I was a leftist or something, like it would just be, I think I would just be annoyed. It's like, if I was a leftist, I'd be, advocating for every minority that I have no actual interest in. And so I'd just be tired of like seeing it in my fantasy, I think that's what's great is like apolitical fantasy appeals to both extremes where it's like, all right, I can just detox. And so when you're trying to put it into the entertainment, it's oversaturating, it's crossing over a line it shouldn't cross.
Yeah, I think I have a couple of episodes left to watch. And honestly, I've liked it so far. It's just the thing that bugs me. Yeah, I'm a Christian, but the fact that, he's supposed to be a Catholic and he's just like renouncing God like that is just very lefty. And it's not believable, at least to me.
Yeah, like I'm a former Catholic and like I'm an atheist now. The reason that is taught in the theology of Catholicism and stuff, the very secular philosophy that's behind any teaching, it's very rooted in logic from my experience, and I like that contrast of like, well, he's a lawyer, but he breaks the law to better serve the law as Daredevil. But then also his religion, where like that's why he doesn't kill people, and like that's why he has a certain moral that makes him better than the criminal. But then he's just like, oh God, I saw God when I got my back broke or whatever bullshit happens to him. It's kind of unclear. It's just like, what? Like,
it seems whiny
like
to me.
Yeah, it's like you've lost your dad and your mom. You never knew your mom. And then, like, of course, you find out all about his mom this season, which is a good twist, actually. It doesn't make sense that he has all this trauma as a child, and then now he's going to break down. It's like, what? Come on! Like things are better for you now than ever. But that comes with the bad too.
Yeah, that's what I really disliked, and the fact, when he brings up Job, how the devil like took everything away from him, and he's like, "Oh, Job was a pussy because he didn't do anything." But the thing is, he didn't say that later. The Job gets everything back, but like tenfold or tenfold. I don't know.
Oh, Rookie, proper Jeremy is in the chat.
Oh, hey, Proper Jeremy. Yeah, I just added him on Twitter. Proper Jeremy, it is a pleasure to have you. He says, it's like Hallmark Channel, Jeremy. We missed you at the council meeting of Jeremy's. Yeah. Sorry, he was with us. We kidnapped him because he's been in our chat, along with Mirror Jeremy comes by sometimes, and Cotton Candy Hair Jeremy. It is good to have. I consider you the first Jeremy account other than the original, so that is awesome to have you in here. Bring more of your clones in, my friend. You guys are hilarious in the chat. Yeah, says Kryptonians, like, they have a council. I wouldn't be surprised. How else do they all talk? Dang. All right.
I want to see all these Jeremys cosplay together at a convention. Go to San Diego Comic-Con and all cosplay as Jeremy.
See 50 Jeremys addressed as their channel names, but also Jeremy with it. So the male feminist Jeremy, I wonder how that one would look like. And cotton candy hair, that'd be funny. Alrighty. Oh yeah, Lone Wolf Cub had a question in here. He wanted to know your opinion, Psych Nerd, on the novel Dracula.
The novel?
Yeah, if you read that.
Nope, they didn't.
Nope. Alright, yeah, he's a huge book guy on that.
Yeah, I read a lot of books actually. Like vampires are my favorite things, but I don't like when it's the usual like medieval type thing. I like when there's a little twist to it.
I gotcha. Yeah, so everybody in the chat, to check out each other's channels and also check out the Psychology Nerd and Black Angus and whatnot. What we like to do is really get people, even with a small community, to like notice each other and to do everything. Like honestly, the sub count doesn't really matter, but it is fun to get other people with more subs. We just got the Sith Kryptonian last night. He was at 96 subs and got him to over 100. So that was fun. Nice and fun. Proper Jeremy says, that's okay. We'll make sure you are properly informed in the future. Referring to Hallmark Jeremy, I assume. He was like, oh shit, when was that? I don't think I got the memo. He said, we'll make sure you are properly informed in the future. He's basically the male feminist in a way, I think, among the Jeremy circle. That tries to be proper and respects all women of every type and whatnot. Oh yes. Princess Erica says, it's so many Jeremys, they're just as bad as Rick and Morty's. I assume they clone each other a lot in that show. Or something. I don't know what else the reference would be.
Yeah, never watched that show.
If I might actually bring Aruka in here if Nerdette doesn't pop in a little bit. Nerdette, I assume she just woke up and still waking up, but I do want to get her in here really and talk about the Comicsgate stuff. For the best stuff, fun. It's good to have somebody that's more in the Comicsgate things to talk about it, because we can talk about it, like Angus and I can talk about it all we want as viewers, but it's fun to have people that are more in it. And I know you're would you say you're somewhat like Comicsgate, or you like watch the shows kind of, or just like not really? I mean, they seem to like to take it as like, are you Comicsgate? It's like, do you need to be? But I mean, it's like, I get what they're saying. Like, I guess.
I used to be more into it like last year.
Yeah, a phase.
Just a phase. You'll grow out of it. No, but I discovered it through Zach's channel, Diversity in Comics, and I was listening to Captain Cummings a lot because he's the channel that actually red-pilled me because I was a huge like lefty and feminist like 2 years ago.
Oh jeez.
Yep. So yeah, I was really into it, but like these past months, I've just been feeling like people, it's just going on Twitter and seeing all this infighting in the Comicsgate, just like John Delaros is getting like so many hate mail just because he has different opinions than other people, and I just find that ridiculous. Like, let people create. If you don't like them, just don't follow them or don't talk to them. Like, I don't go and talk to Max Visaggio and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, I completely agree. Literally yesterday, I posted a Comicsgate video, just giving a viewer's perspective. I made another one before, and this one was just more like of an update, a different one of it. And in it, it was more about the Mark Waid thing, kind of,
Mhm.
and how he's like, oh, I don't think that he should sell this because he's this and that, and I think those books will contain this and that, and about Nazis. And I literally gave an example of, if somebody, let's just pretend that somebody literally made a Nazi book. Let's say somebody made a book about like pro-Nazis. I think they're allowed to make it and they're allowed to try to sell it. But the point is, because that's freedom basically, but it's like, just because, let's just say, if you purchase it, does that mean you are a Nazi? No, you're reading a book. Maybe you're going to make fun of it. Maybe you're going to laugh at it. Maybe you're seeing if it's honest or not. For all we know, it doesn't even mention the Holocaust, and it just mentions the other aspects of the thing. For all we know, it's something goofy or stupid. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
And I mean, just because you read it, and if you read it, that doesn't mean that you hate Jews automatically or that you are doing anything. And I mean, they should be, the point is, if you don't like that content and you don't want to read it, then don't. Like, don't read it at all. I used examples after for images. I found this after I recorded, so I didn't have this planned. There was a book that was like how to poo on a date, helping daddy hide the body. And it's like, I bet you people don't like that, but they're not going, if children read this, they're going to kill their mom or something. Like, you play a video game and your character dies or, falls off, or you jump off a cliff and you kill yourself in the game. Are you suicidal? If you watch a horror movie where they kill people constantly and you love it, are you a psychopath? Like, no, you're just watching some shit. You're just participating in that. You're not doing anything bad. And for all you know, that stupid book that they don't like would only sell 3 copies. Like, maybe it won't even sell much. But the point is, they should be allowed to sell it and not be fully judged on it. It's like, let people decide what they want to spend their money on. If they're doing real harm, like if they read it and literally go out and lynch someone, I think you could have a problem. But that's more with the person than with the book or the content.
Yeah, I think people think these days that media actually forces people to act a certain way, but their actions are their own. Like, people need to realize that the problem is mostly mental health.
Yeah.
Or just like being uneducated, I guess. But
yeah.
I was going to say to that, like, me as a black guy, I don't care if every Klan member in America wants to follow Black Angus reviews. I'm not going to cater to them, but if you want to patronize my, I don't know if that's the right word. If you want to buy my content or be a part of my content, if you find value in it, I don't care if you're Hitler. If it helps me get ahead, fine. But I'm not. There's a difference between like, oh, well, who's buying my stuff and who am I catering my product to? That's a big difference. And they try to indict you on your customers that you have no control over. Like, it'd be like indicting Tide. It's like, oh, well, Tide bleach alternative is like the best to wash my Klan sheets with. And it's like, they have no control over that. Like, it's just, it just happens, like a great example, because I grew up watching a lot of Klan stuff on the History Channel as a kid, and one of the best things about free speech I can think of is, at the time, Cincinnati had a black mayor, and he was first and foremost the guy on the front lines helping organize the police protection for their free speech to rally downtown to hate him just because he's black. And like the black mayor is setting all this up for them. Like, that is what free speech is. And that translates into products. Sure, a company like Facebook can, or YouTube, whatever, can limit that free speech as their own private organization, but if they do, they got to be fair to both sides of the coin, and that's what they're not doing. So I see all this stuff like Nazis make a book. Let them make a book. The market will dictate if their Nazi book sells.
Exactly. Well put, man.
Yeah, and I don't think there are many people that are actually Nazis. The anti-Comicsgate or the left are trying to blow this whole thing up like, 50% of the population are Nazis, but it just doesn't make sense.
Right. Like, you're that degree to the right. Nazi.
Yeah.
I'm clicking on our video stream real quick, so if it echoes for a sec, that is why. Just one sec. Okay, good. It's muted. Okay. I'm just trying to do something with the chat here real quick. I think that some people wanted links in the chat, so I'm making Erica a moderator real quick. And you have a wrench now, Erica. If you wanted to link something to some of the things you're referencing, you have the ability to link it now. So that's cool. Man, I was going to address the chat real quick because the Jeremys are having some fun talks real quick. He says, or Sid Kryptonian says first, he said, "Psych nerd, where can I get that great sweater or sweatshirt?" Or
oh, my shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it at Walmart.
Oh, and it's a stormtrooper. Oh, holy shit!
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's like a Christmas Star Wars shirt.
That's kick ass. I haven't seen one like that yet.
Yeah. I love the holidays for that purpose because Walmart has a ton of like superheroes and Star Wars Christmas shirts that they put out.
That's awesome. I don't really go to Walmart, so that's I didn't know that. That's some cool shirts.
Where do you go? I was gonna call you Jeremy. Where do you go, Rookie?
I've actually ordered my shirts online the last couple of years. For the most part, I'll just see a shirt and go, I kind of like that one, and just order it on Amazon. But I would go to either Macy's or JCPenney or Sears sometimes and get those.
Got that white money.
Yeah, exactly. No, I put my black money in my savings. I don't know. Proper Jeremy accepts your apology. Well, thank you, Proper Jeremy. I appreciate that. He says, Supreme Jeremy? That's a good idea. Proper Jeremy, I have a question. Mirrored Jeremy claims to be the general of the Jeremys. What do you say about that? Are you God Jeremy or what? Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, yeah, that's it. I need a couch, a blanket, 2 small dogs, and a TV. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And then Erica, what's that? Talking about, I think, Angus, did you link her channel in here?
Erica did.
Erica, okay, she did now. Okay, good. And what is that?
I'm uploading a video right now, so like in about 40 minutes, it should be ready.
That's good. Do you guys hate how long it takes to render video sometimes?
I know.
Oh, God.
It's ridiculous because for 6-minute videos, sometimes it'll take like 20 minutes. And now I put a 10-minute video and it's like over an hour. I was like, what the heck?
I was trying to calculate it. I think it takes like for 1 minute of the video, it's like 2 minutes of rendering, but sometimes it varies depending on internet connection and other things. And for some reason, whatever's in the video, I suppose the file size of it. But my God, it is so annoying. Yeah, with a half an hour one, I was like, oh, I should have this up by 3 o'clock, and it's like 2:30 when I'm trying to render it, and it's like 3:30 by the time it's posted. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yep. And okay, Angus, what is Antifa again?
Fascist. They're like the anti-Nazi rioters. They've had some up in your area, up in Portland and stuff, with some very well documented attacks of bystanders.
Oh, like when Trump won and they like protested by destroying buildings and throwing trash cans in the street.
Not even that. More recently, like there's a video of a guy. He's just trying to like drive away, and they're like blocking him, and he's like, for some reason he gets out of his car. I don't know why the hell this old dude gets out of his car, but he gets out, and then somehow they don't bother him, and he gets back in, and he runs off. They're trying to like hit his car and shit. And one of them, they're like, oh, you got a cross on your thing. That's a sign of like white supremacy. We're going to destroy it. Communism's going to be the way. And like the dude's like in the way of like traffic and gets hit by a truck. And it's really funny because it's like, that's what you get, dumbass.
Oh yeah, true. I think I remember seeing that one time. Yeah, she was saying the Antifa and the left are actually the very thing they want to destroy. I think she's saying that they want to destroy themselves. That's I think what she's saying. And yeah, Erica, you are a mod, so you do have power now. So cool. And Proper Jeremy says, Proper Jeremy is disturbed by this problematic discussion. Well, yeah, we just kind of jump around back and forth, Proper Jeremy. So I mean, we get onto the light stuff and sometimes the heavy stuff. So it's only for thick skin around here. We're tough old man over here. Yep. And then what does that say? The Lone Wolf goes, now she turns into Dark Princess because she got power. Yeah, probably. You should make a Dark Princess account, Aruka. That'd be kind of funny. That'd be kind of cool. And then what does he say? Yeah, the Lone Wolf Cub. It says that we all have a second character in our streams. Basically, we all have like different accounts, it seems, or different names that we go by. If you ever see any of my skits, Psych Nerd, my older skits, because when I first started, I did a lot of skits, and I only had myself and a camera, so I'd be fighting myself at the time. I'd have Jeffy. I'd have just offshoots of my name. So I was like I'm Jeff, but I go by the Rookie into things, and then I'd have the Jeffrey character, the Jeffy character, the Jeffy Fro character, the Jeffster character, and stuff, and just all these offshoots. So that'd be kind of funny. And then Proper Jeremy says, Proper Jeremy is the president of the Council of Jeremies. What each Jeremy should do is ask my positions, or is ask me what positions they want, and I will usually approve it. Well, that makes sense, Proper Jeremy. Thank you for educating us more on the Jeremy culture, because that is becoming a wide-growing phenomenon, and I think you might reach 200 by the end of the year. 200 Jeremies, that is. So that's a lot for you to manage. Are you making a council of the council to manage the Council of Jeremies? Six scale still in here. A Silver Spoon, Left Man, Crybabies. Yeah, I mean, sort of. Do you watch South Park?
I used to watch it a lot with my dad when I was younger, but I don't have cable. I only have Netflix, so.
Oh, okay. One of the recent ones, they have PC babies. They have a PC principal, which is politically correctness principle, and he's like, what's up, bro? And he's like jumps down people's throats when they do any microaggression or something. And then he has a strong woman as his vice principal. He has a strong woman vice principal, and they have sex and make PC babies, like 4 PC babies. And they're like, what do you mean PC babies? He's like, watch this. 3 black guys in Mexican walk into a bar. Wah, wah. They all start crying. And they're like, and then later, like Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Pooh's talking about Christmas, and then they're all crying with that too. He's like, what are they crying about now? Sometimes they don't know what they're crying about. Well, then they can just shut the fuck up.
I love how South Park has the balls to do this stuff.
Yeah, and at the end of their episodes, they have hashtag cancel South Park at the end of every episode. So that's even better, honestly. Then what is it down here? Going down, Siskritonian says, Psych Nerd, I just subbed and noticed a video you made about how you became straight after being gender dysphoria. Is that possible? Or after beating gender dysphoria? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think my gender dysphoria was necessarily linked to the sexuality I think I had. I had many, I don't know, I think I had weird barriers with men. I hate being weak, and I absolutely hate crying in front of people. If someone sees me cry, I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna think I'm weak. I don't deserve this world. I'm a pussy. And I think, and just wanting to depend on a guy to do something for me, that was the definition of weakness, and I think that was my biggest barrier. But when I beat my gender dysphoria, I think regaining my femininity and realizing that yes, I am a woman, and yes, I'm different from men, then all of that just faded away too.
I got you. Well, that's awesome that you got around that for yourself. That's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I hate when I say this.
Yeah, I figure you don't want to talk about it that much, but I noticed your cat is very sleeping very comfortably behind you on the little tower or whatever. And it's just adorable. The Aruka noticed that too. She's like, I see the kitty. And it looks very cozy. That's funny.
His name is Tank, and he also embodies his namesake.
Yeah, how many cats do you have?
Only 2.
Only 2. Okay, that's good. Well, that must be challenging for them to, challenge for your attention, because I only have 1 cat, Chikorita, and she is very demanding of attention, even when there's just 1 cat. And I figure if there was more than 1, oh my god, the battle for the last would be too much.
Is all the time, and they're both boys, so sometimes I'll be petting one, and then the other one is gonna be looking at me with those eyes how dare you?
Yeah, traitor. Gender traitor.
Yeah, you gender traitor.
That is a great one, gender traitor. That's like a new thing to add to my arsenal of NPC speak, like
Yes, for hashtag
hashtag literally shaking.
hashtag, do hashtag gender traitor.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like
you,
when I
you,
put
have
up
the you should have the stormtrooper from Force Awakens on there too, because he says traitor.
oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Oh, dude, that we should make like a T-shirt like that for the Cinema Squad. You know, hashtag gender traitors.
I'm gonna make us all rich. I'm gonna make everyone popular and rich now. That's great. Hallmark Channel Jeremy says, I might be the minister of propaganda for the Jeremys. I'm the guy who said Jer Army and Jeremy approved it. Oh, that's good. That's good. Proper Jeremy says, oh goodness, I'm not sure Twitter will allow me to create too many accounts. Yeah, probably not. They like to restrict people these days, it seems. And then Hallmark or Proper Jeremy says, Hallmark Jeremy, you have earned that position. However, it's Jeremy's, not Jeremy's. He says two different ways. And he's like, Odin had to correct me about that once. I think he's talking about the spelling of it. And then, the cat cleaning themselves. Aruka keeps on pointing out the kitty stuff behind you. And then, kitty pretending not, the cat's pretending not to care. And Cub's like, cat people. Proper Jeremy says, gender traitor. I'm literally shaking.
I screamed for literally hours. These people.
That's great. I'm gonna say that again just because it's funny. Gender traitor. I'm literally shaking. Trying to imagine.
Hey, nerd, what is your favorite Marvel movie? That's what I meant to ask you because we were talking about Marvel shows.
Marvel movie, either the last Thor, or I really liked Ant-Man, honestly.
Oh, really? Wow.
The first one?
The second one. I think it was cool.
Wow. I thought the second one was really weak.
Really? I know. I thought it was cool. It was simple and I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see that when it came out. Yeah, it came out too soon.
Yeah, I like.
Go ahead, Angus.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I really liked the first Ant-Man. It was one of those things where someone got me to come around to watch it, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad I saw that. And then I was like, after Infinity War, they're like Ant-Man 2, and I'm just like the promotion and stuff. And then after it came out, before I saw it, like Quartering was reading articles about like, oh well, it's not feminist enough, you know. It's just like it's never good enough for these people. Or it's like you want women in film, and they put it in a superhero, and then it's like she's a sidekick, and just like, well, she's not the leader. So, and it's like it's the movie's called it's an Ant-Man 2. Like, what are you talking about? But no, my favorite is Infinity War. I fucking love Thanos. I love his nihilistic tendencies in the comics from what I've read, and I like how they adapted it, one little trait into his whole crux. Since they didn't have Lady or Mistress Death, they didn't have Mistress Death, so they totally retooled his character's background, like his motive.
Yeah, and I didn't like most of the Avenger movies. I find there was like, especially the last one, there was like so much talking, and I was like, oh my god, do something. But the Infinity War was really awesome.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
With it.
I just get bored of movies if they talk too much.
I hear you. I hear you on that. We have Aruka joining us. Hey, Aruka.
Yo.
Okay, good. The signal's working this time. Sweet.
Thank God.
Yeah, we can hear you. The last time we had her on, the first half an hour was like we hear her. She's like, "I'm talking," and then it's just cuts out all the time. Then she says, "Hello, hello, 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 hello," and then we're like, "Okay, we can hear you." Okay, now what I want to say is, and then it cuts out again.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yes. How are you doing over there? I heard there's some fires over by your area.
Oh man, what to say about that? I'm pretty sure it's been all over the news.
Yeah, I've seen lots of Facebook images or videos of people filming the fires in California right now. Yeah, how bad is it in your area?
the town of Paradise has been leveled. Magalia has probably been leveled. Just a lot of shit going on.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are now homeless. An entire town homeless. Homes destroyed.
Yeah, that sucks. Did you have to evacuate, or did you go by or go to
my home hasn't been destroyed. If I live in a concreted area, but my parents' home is probably destroyed. And so as many others, so...
Dang. That sucks. I feel bad for you for that. Damn. Yeah, I don't want to bring the mood
you can look it up. Just type in Butte Campfire, and it has most of the news. It's raging on Twitter.
Yes. Those California fires really suck. Holy shit. Like one more thing goes and just goes and goes. Yeah. Do you guys have fires on the east? Like that? Like Psych Nerd?
No, we never really had them.
Yep, it's always cold where you are.
I mean, we have hot summers, but we never get so dry that we get forest fires. I think in our town, like, I've been here for 27 years and we only had one. But it was like, minor.
Right. All right. Well, I mean, I hope that, your family and stuff picks up after that. I mean, I have no idea how to say how you get over a fire. I mean, water damage is bad and fire is really bad. It just burns everything you have to a crisp. I mean, I try to think about that where, it's like, oh, if you were to leave your house and then everything gets burned down, I mean, that's, in a way, that's what made up a lot of what you did with your life. And, to look back on and you don't have that anymore, yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Yep, Proper Jeremy gives his condolences. And yes, sincerest condolences. So he's always a gentleman.
Thank you, Proper Jeremy.
He's always a gentleman.
Send your prayers and hopes for people who have lost their families and homes.
Yeah.
Then send your prayers out to them. My family is one of the lucky ones. So send it out to those who actually need it.
Well said.
Right.
You do that too. It's a good idea. It really sucks.
Yep. All right. Well, I want to keep the mood up though, but I mean, I do feel bad for what's happening in California.
Hold on, my dad's calling. I'm gonna have to check what he wants.
Okay, that's fine. Alrighty. So let's see what the chat's saying. Cotton Candy Hair Jeremy says, "What's up, Proper Jeremy? Glad to see another one of us in here. I was on at like 4 a.m. this morning on their stream. Just woke up a bit ago. Yeah, let's just call this the 24-hour podcast, basically, because it's been." This is 6 hours for. I feel bad for Angus because he's almost been streaming for like a total of 12 hours now. I'd say with the vet stream on World Class Bullshitters, our stream last night, and this stream.
No, that's fine, dude. I'm keeping up with the football scores while in between talking.
Yeah, that's good. I'll still need to eat breakfast soon, but it's going to be pizza. Nice. On weekends, I get pizza, like 2 pizzas, and I have one that I put in the fridge to have for the next day. It's a good way to do it. So I'm going to make breakfast, and it's just freaking delicious.
Yeah, that's a smart move.
Hey, Rookie.
Yeah.
Hey, Rookie. I'm going to have to step out. My wife's, talking like a wife about cleaning and, weird crap like that.
Do your chores, mister. Do your chores, mister.
Yeah, so just anyone new here, I cover film philosophy and the NFL. Swing by if you like how I interact with Rookie and the guests that come on Rookie Corner. Appreciate you coming by when I do Utter Chaos, which is a lot fewer and far between than Rookie Corners, but they are just as fun. Thank you, and I will probably see y'all, Tuesday?
Oh, yep, on Tuesday. Yep, 7 a.m.
Right,
my time, 10 a.m. your time.
Cool. See you then, man.
All right. See you later, man.
Awesome.
Thank you. Nice talking to you, Psychology Nerd.
Yeah, same to you. Have a great day.
Alrighty, and in the chat, what does it say? Nicholas Glenn is in here. What's up, dude? He said he just got off of EVS's stream. He's pushing all caps comics now and not Comicsgate. Okay, I think it's a smart idea, honestly. I mean, there's less drama tied to his thing, and this way it's him in control of whatever he's doing.
Yeah,
Right.
you kind of make your own company because Comicsgate was more of a community. It's kind of hard to have a leader of a community, you know. If he wants to make his own comic book thing, then, you know, he should do it apart from Comicsgate.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was one of the issues was that he wanted to break away from Marvel and DC because he had to make things based on what they wanted, and he wanted to do his own thing. And then he just at some point was kind of like, yeah, I guess I'm Comicsgate, and was saying it. And then other people that are in Comicsgate would say what they think and what they think of it. And he's got the loudest voice. So every time he says something, they all jump down on him the way he says it because it doesn't represent it their way. And this way he can just go, you know, it's not my responsibility. I'm saying what I'm saying, and I'm responsible for me. Any of you could say whatever you want. I'm saying this. It doesn't represent me. So
yeah,
that's the best way to do it. Proper Jeremy, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I think it was a good move for him to do that.
Agreed. Princess, I don't know if you're still on your phone or not, but do you know anything about the EVS stuff?
Nope.
No, okay. That's a long thing to get into. We might do that a little bit, but I'm not sure. I was going to try to get Nerdette in here for that, but she's probably eating breakfast or something right now, eating some lunch. So Proper Jeremy says, I'm doing well, Cotton. I'm away from the forest fires, but some of my friends are still affected. Yep. These fires suck. Holy shit. Yeah, I feel bad, too, because it's like we can't really do anything about it from over here, like from different areas or whatnot. But, I mean, that sucks.
Just offer prayers. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wish there was a better ways for people to combat them, but it's just too wild. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. We need to get some people with water powers. What was that?
And it's also that people in the area have lots of flammable stuff.
And that's stronger.
Yep.
Yeah, that sucks too. Big time. To the veteran stream, just looking at the chat real quick, seeing if they're talking about something else. All right. All right, so we're caught up on that stuff. So, Aruka, was there any topics that have come up lately that you want to talk about or bring up?
No, not really.
Are there any projects or anything? Do you want to talk about your idea that you're doing at all? Share with us.
Well, Chasm Chronicles is now being written from the ground up.
Yeah, you mentioned that briefly last time.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep, I'll try to help you with that too sometime off air to figure some of that out. I like to brainstorm those ideas, but this weekend I'm pretty cluttered.
This thing is just the fires. That's just the biggest news right now. My story ideas can just take on back burner.
I gotcha. Makes sense. Yeah, and I wasn't trying to ask like what the thing for the skits. Like you don't have to rush those at all, and I'll wait to send those to you for a little bit so you can still do it at whatever pace you want if you're still wanting to do it, and if not,
of course I still want to do it.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if you're down with this stuff. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, for you, I actually wanted to have your part would be one of the biggest in the skit because you said you want to voice act, and I have this whole scene written out where one of my nega reviewer characters like rises in the ranks, and as he rises, he evolves, and I have like these. My sister has these old pink headbands and armbands or something. And I'll put those on him, and then dub your voice over. So then it'll be like, hey, and I named him Jamal, which is funny. It's a black name to a white character with a girl's voice. Is the idea, and with it being a dub, it probably won't look right and match. So that's the idea with that. So that'll be a fun one if we can do that.
Yeah.
Yep, and yeah, Psych Nerd. So I do sometimes make skits every now and then. I don't do them as often because that's way too time consuming. I try to do more informational based videos and reviews and stuff. But I do want to have a few of those to kick out at the end of the year for fun and to have people that I've contacted have little cameos in there. Like I have Angus and the Iron Wolf and Cub and Sis Kryptonian, everybody in here. You're welcome if you want a line or two. in it. It'd just be like I'm doing something, and then I either call someone real quick and they say something, or there's a scene at the end where I'm like, oh, I'm getting defeated, and then if you ever watch Dragon Ball, I like stand up and like gather energy for a spirit bomb. And yeah, my fellow YouTubers, you guys, you guys can be doing something like you're fiddling with something funny, silly, or doing something, and then, oh, what is that? I hear the rookie. I'll help you, buddy. And then put your arm up to give the energy.
Give you energy. Yeah. Is it gonna last for like 50 videos?
Oh, please no, please no.
It's just a trilogy. 10 minutes tops each.
Because like the spirit bomb in the show, like it was so long, like for him to gather all that energy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm still doing it.
Like 50 episodes.
Oh, Dragon Ball! Oh my gosh, I remember used to watch them on Saturday mornings.
Oh yeah,
But I was bored of Dragon Ball. I was more interested in the Italian cartoon that came after.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you told us about that a little bit. Were you into Dragon Ball at all, Psych Nerd?
Yeah, a lot. I had all the mangas. I watched the shows, and I drew the characters a lot. I was really into it.
Nice. Yeah, I love Dragon Ball. I got into it late. Like when I first saw glimpses of it when I was a kid, I was like, that show looks stupid. Then I got Pokemon or Power Rangers or something. And then when I got older, I was at a friend's house, and he was a little shit of a kid, kind of, when I was in, like, middle school, and it was stubborn. And he was watching, I think he was watching the Frieza arc where Goku just arrives on Namek and fights Jason Birder. And I was frustratingly watching with my arms crossed. I was like, God, this stupid show. And then he's like doing some stuff, and there's some funny lines, and I didn't really get what they were doing, the way they were fighting him. I was like, what are they even doing? And then
you were pretty much a tsundere for Dragon Ball.
Yep. And then because the way that Jason Birder were fighting, they're like flying around him and like going through him. They're like, oh no, Goku. And I'm like, what the hell is this show? And then they get to the Frieza stuff. I think he skipped around to that to show me, and I was like, holy shit, this is freaking awesome. And I was on board ever since then. It made sense to me why people would always do Kamehamehas all the time. I was like, what is that?
That's awesome.
I prefer Thunder, Thundercats, ho!
Exactly.
Or by the power of Grayskull.
See,
I am She-Ra, I am He-Man.
What's funny, I didn't know what the hell those were either until I was older.
My dad had reruns of the shows coming on, and I got to watch them early. So
Nice. Yeah, I'm so late into all this stuff that I should have liked when I was a kid. Like superheroes in general, the cartoon stuff, like a lot of these things I didn't even know about. Like I was just like, oh no, I'm into these few things, the Pokemon and the Yu-Gi-Oh, and then later the Dragon Ball and everything was coming into the play. What do you guys think of Dragon Ball Super?
I have not watched it. As I said, I'm not really interested in Dragon Ball, so.
Right. What about you, Psych Nerd?
Yeah, I still haven't watched it, but I'm probably gonna get the DVDs. I think they have the not the first season, but like parts 1 and 2 dubbed in English. So I'm probably gonna do that.
I think they have it all the way through the Goku Black arc, and then I think that all the way dubbed in English.
Sweet.
I'm waiting for Dragon Slayer to come. Not Dragon Slayer, Goblin Slayer to come out on TV.
Okay, Goblin Slayer. Is that about slaying goblins?
Yes. Think of it like Berserk, but with pretty much the goblins are tiny, like a mind of a child, but if you give children weapons, and also single-sex child weapons, who do nothing but rape and kill.
Holy shit. Sounds an intense show.
Yeah, it's a badass series.
Sounds badass.
I think so. I just haven't watched any of the episodes. I've mostly read the manga and light novels because I want to save myself for the DVDs.
Say you want to be pure once you reach the deep.
Yes.
That's good.
It's the same way whenever I follow a manga series and find out their anime, I try to read before and then find out what's different with the manga. Like, okay, this is the anime, this is the manga. What are the differences between the two? And do the voices match the voices in my head for said characters?
Nice. Well, I imagine they end up a lot different than you would expect. I imagine, right? Because they're the manga creators, because they don't make the same anime. Those are different people that make it, and they adapt the animes, right? Or they adapt the manga.
Sometimes they actually get the voices spot on in my head. Other times it's like, then it grows on me.
I feel like the English dubs of Japanese shows or whatnot, the voice actors always change. Like in Dragon Ball, for example, they have like 12 different people voice Gohan, or Goku. There's like Sean Schemmel and the others. I don't remember their names. There's a bunch of different dubs. I'm gonna address the chat real quick over here. We got the Jeremy conversation.
I love both dubs and subs. I just try to watch both when I can.
Nice. Let me see. I think they want to talk about Comicsgate a little bit in here. Proper Jeremy says EVS has a strike on his channel, but that was removed. I sent him pictures of soy-based comfort foods on Twitter, and he appreciated that. What Proper Jeremy? What is soy-based comfort foods? Like applesauce? Like what? Yeah. I don't know. And going down here. Yeah, Glenn says not every day that you have a Grammy award-winning artist in your house playing new songs. I don't know what he's talking about. It's Gray Nichols. Okay. All right. Just talking about some of that stuff. All right. So.
Actually, have to step out. I have an appointment with a massage therapist soon.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I think I'll about end it. We've been going on for about 2 hours now. And whatnot. Sorry that you didn't get to be in here for too long, Aruka, but I'll invite you in on some more every now and then, of course. You are welcome whenever. I mean, with you and Cub and everybody, I try to give you guys equal time as far as coming in on the streams. I had him on the Flips stream a while ago, so I had you on this one. And I could probably have you both in again at some point because you guys both like books and whatnot and have some good combos with that. Anything you guys want to plug or say before we close out?
No, I'm pretty good.
You're always so simple. You're just like, nope. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I guess I just want to say thank you for watching and those who subbed to my channel. And yeah, I have a video coming soon about Game of Thrones. Like in 20 minutes, I think.
Ooh, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's one show that I still need to watch. I'm going to start watching
I haven't watched the show. I rather read the books.
Yeah. I have the books too. They're really good.
That's good. I will be watching it in December. Once school's over, I'll have more time to watch it, and I'll start watching. I didn't like the first season the first time I approached it, so everybody's telling me I really need to watch the rest. So I'll give everybody a shot and give it a chance. I'm going to say goodbye to the chat real quick. Goodbye, Cotton-haired Jeremy, Hallmark Channel Jeremy, Proper Jeremy, the Lone Wolf Cub. Erica's in here, the 6 Scale Combat, Secretonian, Nicholas Glenn. There's been a lot of people diving in and out. We'll be on again on Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. And who knows what else we'll be doing. We might have random ones later on throughout the month. I think Jez Oldfield is next Tuesday. I'll give you updates on that. And have a good one, guys.